Today, I introduce you the biggest modding update ever in the history of WR3D, the XML system. This is a new feature that will change the way of modding forever and will allow you to do impressive things just by using your phone. Now, the modding will be much more easier in order to update certain things that I'm going to show you. So let's start right now. What is the XML system? This is a small system that will allow you to change several modding things, like for example the texture limit, the arena's name, the Titantron's name and limit, the video Titantron's number and which ones, and every single entrance gear. So let's explain how does this work. This file is going to be located in config folder. It is a new folder and the file is going to be called global config. It's an XML file. The XML is basically a file that uses tags to define data. How can I edit this with APK editor? It's very simple. First of all, open your APK editor. Select your APK file. In this case, I'm going to use this APK file and then choose full edit. I don't know how this option works. I just know that I select decode partial files. Now click the files icon. Press this arrow to go back. Go to the assets folder, config folder, and click on global config. This is the file that you're going to edit. So now let's explain how is this file structured. First of all, there is a textures tag and there are several tags inside it, which are arms, bodies, faces, and legs. All of those numbers that you see corresponds to the texture limit. So for example, if we change this arms value from 150 to 200, this is going to be the new texture limit for arms. I suggest you to add the textures from 1 to the texture limit. So for example, if we want to change the bodies limit from this value to, for example, 350, it is as simple as you are seeing it. So it is very simple and it saves a lot of time. You don't need to use PC anymore. You don't need to edit coding. You don't need to explode your PC with that annoying program which is JPXS. Let's continue and go to the arena stack. As you can see, you can find all the names of the arenas that are inside the game. For example, let's change NXT Takeover. Let's delete this and let's put now, I don't know, NXT No Mercy. This will be the new name for the arena file. Now it is important that you go to the arenas file and you add the corresponding folder, the corresponding file. For example, if you change the arena, in this case from NXT Takeover to NXT No Mercy, the new arena file should be called NXT No Mercy, just like it is written in these tags, otherwise it will not load. You could be thinking that you can increase and decrease arena number by adding a new item tag or removing it, but unfortunately it is not possible yet. So you shouldn't remove or add any item tags, because if you do it, you will absolutely crash the game and it will not work anymore. So you can edit the number, the name of the arenas, but you can increase or decrease the arena number. I will try to add a support for that in the future, but right now you cannot do it. Let's keep moving and go to the Titantron's tags. Here you can change and add tags in order to add or remove Titantrons. Let's put an example. We want to change the Titantron 45, which is Madcap Moss. He's not in WWE anymore. And let's put, I don't know, Creed Brothers. This is how now you can change the Titantron's names. Now let's go to the end of this item list. Let's suppose that we want to add a new Titantron, okay? Because this is something very common. There are not enough Titantrons for all the characters in the game. So we just have to press the space button a couple of times, add a new tag called item, like this, add a parenthesis, the number of the Titantron. I really suggest you to do it. Let's suppose that we want to add I don't know, Yokozuna Titantron. So let's write the name of Yokozuna here, and let's close the tag by doing it like this. If you don't know how to write it, just copy a different tag and paste it here. Don't forget to change the number. So when you do this, you are increasing the Titantron limit. This is how it's done now. It is pretty easy, and you don't even have to put the total number of Titantrons because it is counted automatically. So it is much more easier than before. For example, if we want to add a new Titantron, another Titantron, let's suppose, let's add, I don't know, item, close the tag. The parenthesis with the number is very important. For example, we want to add MVP. Write his name, close the item tag, and this is all. Don't forget to add the texture in the Arenas Titans folder and add the respective name. In this case, for Yokozuna, it will be Titan 204. That should be the name of the file, and the extension should be JPG. I guess you already know how to do that, so I'm not going to show you right now. And if you need help with that, I don't know, let me know in the comments. Okay, now let's move to the next tag, Video Titantrons. This is a very interesting tag. If you see a tag in the list named Video Titantrons, then that particular Titantron becomes a Video Titantron. What does this mean? It's simple. Instead of adding an image texture to your Titantron, you will need to add a video texture by using WR3D. This change is essential because videos need a different kind of texture to play correctly in the game. I'll do a tutorial about how to do that in the future. I'm going to show you an example. For example, we added Yokozuna Titantron, right? And we want it to be a video Titantron instead of a texture Titantron. So what we're going to do is add a new tag, a new item tag element in the video Titantron tag, and we are going to add the number that we assigned to the new Titantron, to Yokozuna's Titantron. So we're going to go to the end of this, add a new item tag, close it, and add the number 204. 204. Close the tag. This is how you add a new video Titantron. Now let's move to the entrance gears tag. This is a pretty confusing tag, by the way. I know that if you're going to modify this file, this tag is the one that is going to give you more problems. The structure of this tag is like this. First, you can find all the jackets that are represented by this attribute called type. Then you can find all the long coats, then you can find all the t-shirts, then you can find all the championships, and then you can find the kilt or the skirt item. This is for entrance gears. So if you want to change the name, you're free to do it. This section lists all the different types of gear or wrestlers can wear in the game, like jackets, long coats, t-shirts and more. Now, let's say you want to add a new jacket. Here's what you need to do. Look for the last jacket in the list and check its number. Add your new jacket with the next number. For example, if the last jacket is 10, Sting's jacket, yours could be 11 and new jacket's name. If you need to remove a jacket or any gear, find the gear you want to remove, delete that line from the XML file, and ensure the numbers continue in order. So, if you remove a gear between two others, adjust the numbers accordingly. Why is this important? The game uses these numbers to know which gear to show. If the numbers are mixed up, the game will crash. Always remember to keep the order and the numbers and the types in sequence. Now that you are done, don't forget to save your changes. Click on this button and the file has been saved. So you can go back and click the button Build. After you click the button Build, APK Editor is going to start building your APK file. Then you can install it and use it. This is the process of modifying things by using this XML system. I hope you understand it. If you don't, please feel free of asking me anything about it, because this could be confusing. This can be confusing at first, but if you understand it and you start mastering it, you're gonna have a lot of possibilities. So this was just an introduction and a small explanation of how does this work. I hope you guys are as excited as me about this system. This system will be included for the first time ever in the WR3D 2K23 Final Dance mode, and I plan to expand this system, make it larger and include it in more mods. So I hope you like it. Tell me what you think about this system. Tell me if it was hard to use, if it was confusing, or if it was easy. This is all, guys. Hope you like it and see you soon.